The Malachi Coleman shot, he was basically even, just barely had an edge on the defender when Harburg launched that thing, and then Coleman just streaked and just blew right by him and went and tracked down the football.
Yeah,
That was beautiful.
I've seen him do that several times, in high school. That's the talent that he has, the burst. I mean, he was a track guy. So, yeah, he's got that burst and those long arms. And, when he concentrates catching the ball, he's pretty darn tough to stop. So,
yeah.
But way too many mistakes, though. I mean, Heinrich Harburg putting the ball on the ground too many times. And, just got to keep trying to clean those things up. But those are growing pains for first time starter who is now starting to look pretty good. There hasn't been a starting Nebraska quarterback go 4-1, and I think since way early 2000s. So that was good to see.
Interesting. Matt Rule said after about that long touchdown play to Malachi Coleman that Tom Osborne had actually told him to kind of do that play before the game started. So on the sideline, he kind of pointed up there to Tom Osborne. So that was a Tom Osborne wrinkle that he had picked his brain for. So interesting little nugget there, how that worked out. And I mean, it was smart. It just they brought everybody down, and we've been in shotgun so much it doesn't work. They brought everybody down, and he was able to just create a lane over the top. Like Greg said, he's just got that track star speed. So as long as they can, the deep throws have been inconsistent, but I mean, he put that ball right on the money. So, that's really good for Malachi to get out there and get a big play, get his first touchdown and stuff like that. So excited to see what he does going forward.
I mean, Malachi Coleman and Heinrich Harburg have played a lot of football together. Yeah. They were on the same 7-on-7 team going through high school.
Yeah, that helps a lot. Yeah,
for sure. They already had a chemistry before Malachi even got there.
Yeah, and that's super important. Yeah, people underestimate how important that already having that connection is.
And to get that first touchdown, not just as a garbage touchdown, meaningless touchdown, mop up, but to put one on the board with a slim lead, close game, and for it to mean a lot, that has to be meaningful.
Yeah, that was, huge for momentum. And just getting a big play, it just seemed like we needed to make a big over-the-top play, because last year that was so much of Nebraska's offense was, Trey Palmer blowing the top off the defense, and we haven't seen that this year. So it was nice to just know that, like, hey, we got it. There's one, so we know we're capable of it. It's just been such tough sledding with this offense. It's like we got to be able to open this offense up somehow, and hopefully, if they add a little bit more, or can land a few more deep balls and kind of stretch the field a little bit more, maybe that'll open some of the other stuff up offensively. So we'll see.
And with Harburg, at least those 2 interceptions came very, very early in the game. Not that that's good to get off to that kind of start, but obviously the defense picked him up, only gave up, I believe, a field goal, stopped them on the other right in their tracks. So, threw a couple bad balls, one got deflected, they get picked off, but then he was, and I don't want to make too much of it because it's not like he was asked to throw the ball 50 times, but he did not throw it in harm's way the rest of the game. So they made it through 2 early turnovers in the first 5 or 6 minutes. And Greg, thanks for making me feel better, because if I don't get to see the game, I'll watch the extended highlights, which basically show you every meaningful. I'll watch the 15 to 18 minute highlight package, and then I'll go back and look at the box score. And I saw James Williams with a sack, and I thought, who's James Williams?
That's exactly what we all said. They brought him up for a post-game interview in the side room, and I had to ask the intern that was running that camera. I'm like, who the hell is that? And he didn't even know. And I'm like looking, thank God he had his jersey on. I'm like, who the hell is number 90?
That's when you're in a little bit of a tough situation there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean, that was a package they put in for him specifically. That didn't have anything to do with injuries or anything.
Oh, okay.
That's just a guy that's been playing his butt off in practice and
That's cool though. I like that.
himself. Yeah, I mean that was something that Coach Rule had noticed because Coach Rule has been coaching the scout defense team, and he saw something that he liked. And this guy, I mean, he made the team in a summer workout, like a postgraduate camp tryouts, and they liked what they saw of him, and he made the team. And like I said, he's been on the scout team ever since. But Coach Rule saw something that he liked, and so he brought it to Coach White and Coach Knighton's attention, and they agreed. And so they put that specific package in there for him. And Ty Robinson actually said today that they've been calling him Sack Man ever since spring.
That's all.
Spring training camp. So, yeah. And Ty's like, yeah, the guy's the same height as I am, but he weighs like 240 pounds and he's got size 17 shoes.
Jeez.
They call him Sack Man. And he came right in there and he did what he was supposed to.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
What a cool story too. Another fun nugget from the game too. Just before I forget, every point was scored by somebody from Nebraska. So that was an interesting little nugget I saw too. Alvano kicked the field goal, of course, and then the touchdowns. But yeah, big kick too. I think that was 47, and he hit him right in the all. Yeah, hit him right in the all-state hands, which I think should be an extra point. But tack on 4. But I think that's big for his confidence because again, he's coming off that bad hold. He had 2 out of 3, but that bad hold, and so it was nice to see a long one go through for him right down the middle at home. In that situation where we needed to tie the game. So yeah, that'll be good for his confidence going forward, I believe.
I don't think there's been any lack of confidence in him anyway. I mean,
yeah,
he's got ice water in his veins. It's just some days you don't have it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like Coach Rule had even said to him, he's like, were you worried about it when you were kicking the game winner in the state championship game for Westside last year? No, when you hit a 50-yarder, to win the state title. So
yeah, because he drilled that thing too.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that would have been good from 60.
Yeah.
We talk Huskers football with all of you each and every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock Eastern time, 6 o'clock Central time. The schedule is just too long for me to try to remember which. I've got an appointment at 8 o'clock, a recorded 8 o'clock. We've got a live stream at 8:30. We just did a 5:30. We had a noon today at 12:30, a 1:30, at 2:30, at 3:15. Okay.
You must have a war room, like just like a big whiteboard where you just have all your appointments set up.
Yeah. It's pretty much that.
Man.
So we are in the 6 to 7 hour. There we go. Central time. There we go. Okay. That's Justin. That's Greg.
Yes.
I'm Mark. We talk.
Hi,
guys. Welcome back.
Yeah. I know these guys. All right.
Just read the shirt in the background.
Yes. There we go. All right. Yeah. 17-9. Not too pretty, but it's effective. And I would say that, and this is me picking it up from watching the highlights package, not, in the extended version. So I'm watching almost, probably half the plays or more. That it seemed like they had control of the game, were the better team. Once Harburg scored the touchdown and they went on the drive right before halftime and he took it in, it looked like, okay, they're going to ram it down their throats and play defense and know this is the way the game's going to be won, and we're stronger and we're more solid up front, and we're going to let these guys take it home.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're up 10-3 there. And I thought it was interesting that Ty Robinson said that, the defense, they're already, we're winning. We're ahead 10-3. So all we got to do is keep doing our jobs and, keep them from scoring. So they were fine. The defense was totally fine being only up 10-3. And they were really pissed off that they gave up that field goal in the fourth quarter. So they didn't get a shutout in the fourth quarter. But I mean, that defense is so confident and playing at such a high level that Nebraska is going to be in games that they were upset that Northwestern got 138 yards rushing on them, but Nebraska's running for 200 a game. And, if you're going to run the ball and stop the run, you got a darn good chance of winning a lot of games. And that's what they've been doing. They're relying on that formula. That's why you haven't seen a lot of those, shots downfield either, because, it's about controlling the ball and eating up that clock and out physical on the other team, which you've completely seen. So.
Yeah, and another thing that is been stood out for them is they're trusting each other, and that's that comes down to the confidence he mentioned, because they're trusting each other, which makes their jobs easier, because they're not getting out of position to go cover down here. They're playing physical, like he said, and they're getting a lot of hats of the football, and they're just playing as a unit. And right now, that's simply what he said. Just everybody's doing their job, and they're playing as a unit. They trust each other. And I mean, that shows game in and game out. It's like they're never rattled, no matter what happens. It's like they'll come back out, reset mentally. They're really good about that. So excited about the defensive play. Yeah, for sure.
A lot of that second half, I was parked right next to the Nebraska sideline. And every time that defense would come up with a sack, I mean, you get 8 sacks. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But every time that they'd come up with a stop or a sack, I mean, that sideline was electric.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys really play for each other, like Justin mentioned. But, it's just unbelievable to see. It's great to see. I mean, kind of been missing that for a while.
Yeah, that energy hasn't been there in the last few years at all.